O primeiro projeto de Johnny depois de Anjos da Lei foi Eduardo Mãos de Tesoura, escrito por Caroline Thompson para o visionário diretor Tim Burton. O herói era um menino com tesouras no lugar das mãos que fora construído por um gentil inventor.
We had heard about Johnny Depp from John Waters. He walked in and, you know, he had kind of scruffy clothes on. He's very shy and he kind of was looking around for us. And I just saw these eyes looking around, these big, gentle, kind of doe eyes. And Tim and I just looked at each other like, that's him, you know?
Don't go.
What happened to you?
I'm not finished.
A comédia agridoce acompanhava as tentativas de Eduardo para se adaptar à vida normal dos subúrbios. Era um assunto que Tim e Johnny conheciam muito bem. Johnny se identificou muito com o brilhante ator Vincent Price, seu colega de elenco.
The three of them, Tim and Johnny and my dad, kind of connected. And Johnny once showed my dad a first edition Poe book that he had, and my dad then proceeded to recite the entire poem that was in the book. So I think there was a real sense of artistic exchange and camaraderie.
That's right. Go ahead, smile, it's funny.
Johnny was a saint making that movie because wearing that suit and in the heat in Florida, I mean, it was 100 degrees, 100% humidity, and he had the wig on and thick, you know, makeup, and the suit was really skin tight.
It was like being, I guess, how it must feel to be sort of handicapped. You know, like, they would sort of open doors for you and get you something to drink, and are you okay?
Johnny baseou sua interpretação no comportamento dos cães que tivera, atribuindo astúcia e delicadeza a Eduardo Mãos de Tesoura. Sua noiva, Winona, também fazia parte do elenco.
We were both nervous before we started, but it's been going really well, and I think it's one of the best experiences I've ever had.
To have them falling in love through the movie as their characters are falling in love, it was really sweet.
Para a surpresa de muitos, Eduardo Mãos de Tesoura foi um sucesso. O ator de 27 anos provara que era mais do que um ídolo adolescente, mas Hollywood continuaria tentando rotulá-lo. Em 1990, a carreira de Johnny estava em ascensão, mas ele se recusava a modificar seu espírito boêmio. Depp continuava morando em hotéis e usando pseudônimos engraçados, tais como Senhor Fedorento, apenas para se divertir.
He is completely unimpressed by the usual accoutrements of stardom. You won't see him in the Four Seasons bar carrying on with a whole bunch of people. He'll be with his pals. If he can find a pub, he'll be there.
Os filmes seguintes de Johnny, as comédias Benny e June e Arizona Dream, provaram que ele escolhia os projetos em função do personagem, do roteiro e do diretor. O potencial de arrecadação do filme não o interessava.
Those choices were courageous on the one hand and kind of smart on the other. He really didn't have to worry much about whether or not they were box office successes because it was too easy to understand why they wouldn't be. And so you couldn't say, well, it's because Johnny can't bring an audience into the theater.
Enquanto Johnny se tornava um astro, sua vida amorosa estava um turbilhão. Seu relacionamento de 3 anos com Winona Ryder sucumbia sob o peso das carreiras de ambos e sob o escrutínio incessante da imprensa.
They couldn't go anywhere, they couldn't do anything without speculation on who was cheating on who and who was seeing who, and that's partly, that experience partly is responsible for Johnny Depp's kind of distanced relationship with the media.
Johnny teve que lidar com uma certa lembrança do relacionamento que terminava.
Johnny knew that he didn't want to live with Winona forever on his arm, so he had the N and the A taken off. And now it reads Wino forever, because he likes his wine, as he has said many times.
Johnny canalizou sua dor para seu próximo filme, Gilbert Grape, aprendiz de sonhador, drama delicado sobre uma família de excluídos. Depp fazia um jovem confinado a uma cidade pequena que cuidava de sua mãe obesa e de seu irmão deficiente mental, interpretado por Leonardo DiCaprio. Tal como um irmão mais velho de verdade, Johnny provocava Leo.
Depp would pay Leonardo DiCaprio $5 to sniff an old rotten egg or something, just any kind of crazy thing, just for fun.
Mas o papel também lhe trouxe lembranças tristes de sua própria família.
The sense of this family being isolated and awkward, and he was playing into that, and it was a time when he was drinking very heavily and being very self-destructive. Family and friends actually started to say to him, you're going down the wrong road here.
Cansado de ser perseguido por paparazzi sempre que saía para um drink, Johnny abriu sua própria casa noturna, a Viper Room.
The Viper Room was the place to hang out for young Hollywood. It was dark, it was small, it was cool, there were great musical acts there.
Em 1993, na noite do Halloween, Johnny estava tocando com seu colega Flea, baixista do Red Hot Chili Peppers, e não sabia que uma tragédia acontecia ali. River Phoenix, o jovem ator de filmes como Conta Comigo, estava na boate. À 1 da madrugada, Phoenix cambaleou até a rua e perdeu a consciência.
I got off stage and went out the door, and the paramedics were working on this young man, and I didn't know at the time that it was River.
River Phoenix havia tido uma overdose de drogas e morreu antes de chegar ao hospital. Johnny, atordoado, fechou a casa noturna por 2 semanas e permitiu que os fãs de River fizessem homenagens do lado de fora. Depp estava triste com a morte sem sentido do colega e enraivecido com a exploração sensacionalista da mídia.
The media wouldn't let not only River rest, but they wouldn't let his family rest.
O lugar favorito de Johnny agora se tornara um imã para observadores vampirescos e para a imprensa que ele tanto desprezava. Mais uma vez se sentindo perseguido, Depp canalizou suas emoções para o trabalho.
Really? Worst film you ever saw? Well, my next one will be better.
No escandaloso filme Ed Wood de Tim Burton, Johnny deu um tom gentil e jocoso à interpretação do incompetente diretor transexual de filmes trash dos anos 50.
All right, everybody, let's get set up for scene 112.
O filme se baseava no relacionamento entre Ed e seu amigo e ator Bela Lugosi, já envelhecido e viciado em drogas, interpretado por Martin Landau.
You will be my slave of love. My gosh, Bella, how do you do that? You must be double-jointed, and you must be Hungarian.
Johnny went into that character with hell's bells, and he played that guy without any apology. Absolutely dignified him, and yet, at the same time, you could laugh at him.
Johnny adorou poder colaborar mais uma vez com Tim Burton em uma história de gentis desajustados.
They're both unique, and they're both visualists, and they both seem to like very much of the same stuff. They see the world, which is skewed in a certain way, very much the same way.
You want to keep moving. You've got to get through that door. Hancock, perfect. Print it. Let's move on.
Johnny praticou bastante para dominar a arte de andar em saltos altos.
He's a beautiful man as a man, and that's difficult enough to be on screen with him because he's distractingly beautiful. And then you put him in the hose and everything, and he's got great legs and a beautiful figure, and he looks better in the stuff than you do, and he's in drag.
How long have you been doing this?
Since I was a kid. My mom wanted a girl, so she used to dress me in girly clothing.
just became a habit.